Hello, good evening. This is the Benson Media, and today is on Wednesday, no Thursday, and we are joined by Mr. Miguda. Mr. Miguda, you can say hi to our viewers as we get ready for the topic of today, and possibly allow me to acknowledge the presence of everyone who is following us in all our platforms. Miguda, habari ya leo, siku yako imekuwaje? Mapya.
Yeah, very good, Makobura. I can say first, let me pass my greetings to you and thanks you for hosting this show tonight in East African time. As well, today is Thursday, the way you have said. I'd also like to pass my greetings to our viewers who are currently viewing and the ones who are going to view in future. And also welcome each and everyone to the show. And we are here to discuss matters governance. We are here to discuss matters our country, and each and every person is welcome to the show, either via link. You can come through video, or you can as well contribute to the comment section. We said as usual that our channel, your opinion or your views are well protected. Back to you, Makubura.
Okay, thank you so much. Allow me to take this opportunity to say hi to our good friend, Good here, who is also over here. And before we get into the topic, just as it reads, the big game, why weak opposition is best for President Ruto. That is the topic that I want us to have a discussion on today. And I'll get straight to the discussion why a weak opposition is gonna benefit the president. We've seen we've seen a lot in the field of politics where, starting from the days where the young people went to the street, the ODM joining the government, or being included in a government that is run by the UDA. So part of what we want to discuss, you know very well that ODM has always been in the forefront in matters of opposition, but since they joined the government, we've seen them having quite a lot in terms of confusion. They've been confused, and we've seen quite a number of leaders from opposition having different views, different takes, and that again has made it. I don't know whether to put it as a weak link or so, but today I just want us to look into the positive side that all this confusion are causing, are benefiting the government side. And I want to I want to give you a scenario. We've seen quite a number of laws, the taxation laws, the IMF laws. You remember the housing levies, amongst others. The government side they've always had an easy time passing all these laws, and part of the reason is that the opposition side, there's a weak link within the opposition side. And that, of course, is being caused by the confusion and the high demand from the opposition side looking for lucrative government positions. We saw the ODM joining government and then they forgot about their role in the opposition. After that, we saw the united opposition being led by the DCP or Wiper also coming in face. But again, we've also seen quite a lot of rankles between those particular parties. So my question to you, Mr. Migode, if you can give us an explanation of how these confusions within the different political parties within the opposition are making it easy for President William Ruto in his UDA or in the Kenya Kwanza side to manage implementing all the agendas that they had in place. Miguda, you can give us your view on that. Before you come, allow me to just read what Goodyear here is saying that the president is 1,000 steps ahead. Guys, remember Uri is also working. Ruto's paycheck is great. We do not have united opposition because they're joining Ruto slowly but surely. It's a real long term. Yeah, so you can include your views in the comment as
Okay,
well.
okay. Makobura, if I'm loud and clear and audible, I can proceed. If I'm not, you can as well confirm from your studio. First, I'd like to also pass my greetings to our good friend Goodyear and welcome Goodyear to the show. I like the way you have actually elaborated the question. You have extensively elaborated the question very well. I agree with you that currently, as we speak, there is no team we can term to be a strong opposition. People are in opposition. We can say even the common mwananchi like Raia, we are all in opposition as well. And there is no one who is having a monopoly to be in opposition or opposition leader. You are in your opposition at your own capacity, at your own free will, depending on how you critique the government. First, I would like also to tell you that you have stated very clearly that right now there is no unity in opposition and there is no strong opposition. What we have is a weaker one. It is true because from the onset, I believe that from the eras of Moi, we used to have strong people who actually could critique government and could have massive followers like the late Kenneth Matiba, the late Mwai Kibaki. Remember, all of them came from opposition. They were doing great in opposition. And the people like Raila Odinga could also be detained without trial in that opposition. You have seen most of time when we are approaching our elections from 2007, when we came from referendum of yes and no, we were approaching 2007 election. We had a very strong team from opposition who had actually won against yes team in the referendum. So they were approaching the elections very strong and very aggressive compared to the Kibaki by that time in the government, and that made them to lead to confusion to an extent that we ended up in the post-election violence as a country. When we are approaching the 2013 election, remember Raila's been in government as a prime minister, but when they are approaching elections, actually, they team against the president, and it was very strong, effective competition between Raila and Uhuru. In 2013-17 election, they came from opposition, but what has been constant from the word go is Raila Odinga and ODM. ODM has been approaching elections as opposition, and as times goes by, 13, 17, 2022, they have been forming coalitions with other political party. As they do so, you understand that whenever they were doing so, they were creating what seems to be strong outside opposition. And they were very clear on their mind. But right now, their dynamics are different because we are going to approach elections whereby the ODM, which has been constant party from outside, currently are in working arrangement with the government, approaching elections, remember? So the teams which are left outside there, they are left to push, and no one is willing to come forth to fight for what other people have been fighting for. That's my view. That's why if you state the issue of weaker opposition, I can just say William Ruto is approaching elections smiling because this is not how Uhuru approaches previous elections. Actually, Uhuru approaches 2017 elections very tired because of the pressure from opposition. Uhuru approached 2013 elections with a very competitive opponent, and that's why most of those elections ended up at the Supreme Court because of that effective competition. Vis-a-vis, Kibaki approached the 2007 election with a very worthy and very competitive opponent. But right now, remember the opponent that was very effective and competitive in 2022 is now resting in peace. But the people who are organizing to tackle William Ruto right now, they are not that effective in my view. They are not that much strong. They are not moving crowds because what I'm seeing from my end is that the president tend to set agenda for them. As the opposition right now, you are naming them. Oh, President William Ruto, whenever he sets agenda, they tend to fall in that trap. And when President Ruto attacks them, they respond to him. They should be very clear and very objective in their moves. As opposition, they should be very alternative. That other than Nyota Mradi, what do we have? Or when we take over from William Ruto, what are we going to do to the people of Kenya? Other than SHA, other than universal health coverage, other than education, other than hustler funds, whatever, you should be very deliberate, very open, very objective, very predictable. That if I take from William Ruto, I'm intending to. So that's why sometimes he finds it's very easy, and that's why I'm telling you he's going to face this election smiling because he seems to be the person setting agenda for them. He seems to be the person setting any pace for them to move. If he's quiet, they are quiet. If he talks, they respond. If he makes a moves, they counter the move. So they are going to make it William Ruto. Let me conclude by emphasizing on the comment from the screen on Uhuru Kenyatta. Actually, Uhuru Kenyatta is making some moves that is very known, and is making some secret moves in the opposition. So you can ask yourself, who are the real actors? Uhuru seems to be calling the shots. At the same time, the people who are on the screen calling themselves positions seems to be also making some moves. So it is a mix-up of confusion, just like you have seen even in that broad-based arrangement, Uhuru is also trying to make his own moves in ODM. And that one is deliberate, very much predictable, and that's why the people who are for William Ruto are actually to some extent uncomfortable with the moves being made by Uhuru Kenyatta. So that is my take. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miguda, for giving us your view. And of course, I want to urge everyone who is watching that they like and subscribe because if they do so, it is a way of supporting us. Sisi hapa of course tutasema ni asante. Naweza ona a good friend, good year. Sijui amepotelea wapi. It's been a while, good year. And he's saying that we have to be true to ourselves and we can't blame any term. The united opposition can't even name a candidate member to see off Ruto. For now, they should just leave behind interest and concentrate. Okay, thank you so much, good dear, for your take. And maybe Miguda, you can also give us your view on the oversight side. We've seen, just like I did mention, we've seen the government side not having serious challenges in terms of the bills that they're coming up with. Remember the taxation bill, remember the IMF back reforms, house levies, and of course the budget approval. We saw how it went through through the legal ways, and of course through the committees, and of course it was uh, it was then approved. So maybe oh, okay, sorry. Okay, allow me to say hi to Brother Ben. Thank you so much, Brother Ben, for also finding time to join us. We really appreciate. And Miguda, I was saying that if you remember the many bills that have been passed, and if you compare how the other governments, look at the government of Kibaki, look at the government of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, so many times they had difficulties in passing certain bills, and especially if the opposition had an alternative view. This time round, we are seeing the government having it very easy. Look at the oversight side. We are not seeing uh, the oversight side has become a little bit weaker because we are seeing fewer serious accountability challenges. We are seeing cabinet secretaries, some of them doing their own things without consultation. It is not an issue because the government has quite a lot, I mean, quite a number of members of parliament who are in support. And, we are also, those are some of the things that we've seen. I'll give Brother Benson to give his take on that. Something else is that we are not seeing a strong alternative. Even the narrative that is coming from the opposition is not as strong as we would expect, or it is not as strong as the kind of politics that we have always seen being played in the republic. And of course, remember the days when Raila used to lead the opposition. So we are seeing a politics which is about choices, and there is no credibility. I mean, a weak opposition has failed to offer Kenyans a credible alternative. That is part of the conversation that the people of Kenya are having, and they're giving their views on. And again, we're also seeing, since Raila left the position, without him, remember the kind of politics he played in unifying the opposition. We are seeing a public, I mean, there's what we call, let me give you an example of what used to happen. When Raila was there, whenever the people of Kenya felt that there's something they needed to address, that of course would mean that they would get support from Raila to get to the street. So currently, we are seeing, as much as there's public anger, there is nothing, or there's nowhere to go politically. That is why we are seeing a huge number of Kenyans are still, undecided on whether to get to the opposition side or to get to the government side. Maybe the question I'll ask you, Miguda, is if the citizens are angry, who then speaks for them in this scenario? Because we are not seeing a stronger leader who can speak in a way that we used to see. You will give us your take, Miguda, and then after that, Brother Benson will also give his views. Miguda, Miguda, you
Okay,
can.
okay. Thank you, Makobura. I just want to focus on the question you have asked earlier about the bill making process, because actually when it comes to the issues of Raila and opposition, I think I've tried to elaborate in my first submission. Maybe Brother Benson will come later and also try to clarify. You have stated categorically that right now people are making bills and there are no that public participation from whatever you have said, because you have said the reason why there are some bills which are pending right now in the National Assembly. At the same time, the bill which was supposed to be passed actually currently is not in concurrent with the provisions which they said earlier. And the CS, or the people who are actually enforcing those bills, have been out here campaigning and have been out here advocating for the people that actually the implementation will be on. At the same time, find out that if you go properly and you do your own uh, research, you understand that there is going to be nothing actually happening. So Makobura, I agree with you that whenever you said that actually there are issue of public participation, after the gazettement of the bill, the public participation. So the people who are actually bringing the bills in parliament tend to ignore the public participation, because if it, at all the bill could be coming to the public, actually we could be seeing it and also we could be reading it. But if it has not passed through the public, there's a problem. before it go to the committee stage. At the committee stage, there are also some absence of some members, and before it is verified to the full house reading, and also before they debate and actually pass it and present it for the presidential assent. So at the presidential assent, then when the bill goes back to court, when some people protest to court, you find out that the bill making process was actually not followed in accordance with the provision of the law. More so the issue of public participation and the issue of the House committee sitting to verify, or maybe they can decide to amend it. The dissenting opinion are not even drafted by the members of parliament. So up to that point, I agree that actually there are some bills right now which are pending in court. We ought to have them as laws after the presidential assent. But most of them, if you go to the court, you find that we have pending bills which are yet to be determined by the court. But more so, if you look at the decision of the court, they usually tend to tell us that the issue of public participation, that it was never, the members of the public were never allowed to participate into the bill making process. So I think for us to continue, even though we have a weaker opposition, but also we should remind the president, the parliament at large, that we elected them to represent us into the August House. They need to actually do what we expect them to do. They should ensure that there is that full bill making process in any time, so that whenever it goes to court, it cannot be nullified based on the public participation.
Thank you. Allow me to welcome Brother Benson. You can also give us your take on the question that I've asked.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Makobura, and thank you so much Miguda. Miguda, leo ni kama umekuja na Jaramogi, kwani bado ni nini kilisababisha wewe kuvaa kofia hicho cha Jaramogi?
Leo naweza sema tu nakala, na pia niseme, ningependa kuambia mazingira, niko katika mazingira ambaye lazima tu nivae kofia. Mazingira imeniruhusu kuvaa kofia, na hii kofia si ya Jaramogi peke yake, kila mtu ako na uhuru ya kuvaa kofia yake. Hii ni yangu.
Asante sana. Naona pia ndugu yetu Gibson Kona yuko hapa pia, amenisalimia.
Ni mazingira, it is the environment that has allowed me to put it on.
So, okay, Makobura, before I answer your question, what kind of environment is that? That has, because like we know that what you're putting on is always associated with, it is a brand for somebody. Like Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, that was used to be his brand. And if somebody sees you wearing that, people would know that, oh, this is Jaramogi or Raila's, because Raila at some point, and later in Raila political career, he decided to change his brand of the hat. He had to come with the round one. Remember the one that he was buried with? That one became as like his signature. But this one used to be for Jaramogi. So what is this environment that has forced you to take us back to Jaramogi's line of history?
Okay, I'm in a political environment today. Okay. Maybe many things are happening. Okay. There is something going on. Just let me disclose to you. We were supposed to take public participation so we are taking some people through public participation.
Okay.
There is a privatization of something. So a lot is happening. So we don't worry. That one is for another day.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Miguda. Makobura, also thank you so much for the question. You know, when it comes to...
For your information, even me, I've not really activated my video.
Yeah.
I mean the camera, but I have a similar one that I'm putting on just now. It's only that you will not be able to see me. I think I took over from Jaramogi. It's only that Miguda has copied me today.
Okay, thank
but
you.
Me every day, ever since siku hizi nimekuwa the son to Jaramogi.
Yeah, Gyps, good year. Migudas look great, but I was just trying to get the reason why, because that this this Kevin Obura never to be beaten. Okay. That's why I was asking, because like it is the other day that we celebrated the 32 years of Jaramogi, ever since he died in 1994. And yesterday you saw they were celebrating the life of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. So when I saw my good friend and brother Miguda putting on this, I thought maybe he's still remembering the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. I don't know when Jaramogi died. Miguda, Jaramogi died. Did you were you born then? Were you born then?
Okay, I'm responding to that question. I know
Yeah.
Makobura's cape. I've seen, but Makobura, this mine is design one. That's why I was showing you this brand.
Oh,
This one
okay.
is this one is
Even
Kangol,
mine,
my
even
friend.
mine is a design. It's a design one.
so 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 let me respond to your question, brother Benson. Makobura's got even two of them.
Yeah.
Jaramogi died when I was not yet born. Actually, I never
Mm,
saw Jaramogi. But
mm,
I think when he died, when he was buried, the one our second last born, because I'm the last born.
mm,
I'm the last born now. I'm the last born in our family. Our second last born was
mm,
born exactly on 1994 when
mm,
Jaramogi died.
mm,
So me, I came later. So that's why I never saw him. I
mm.
only know him through history.
Yeah, okay. Uh, okay, that's good. Makobura, did you? I can see. Uh, Makobura, could you fix something on your side, because I'm seeing you on the dashboard? You're like with the two. Okay, as Makobura fixed that. Okay, Jaramogi died in 90s. No, Jaramogi died in 1994. Yeah, Jaramogi died in 1994, and okay, so, and if you look at majority of his photos, you will see, or you will capture that that was his like a brand cap, especially back. Some people call it Kango. You know, in the development they call it the Kango hat. So but Jaramogi had it earlier. Then it came. Raila used it for some times, but then Raila decided to move away from the Jaramogi, so he had his white and all that. I can see nowadays the Orange Democratic Movement, majority of them are using it. Makobura, the reason why maybe some of the bills and all those that you've asked are not taking place is because of how now our politics is wired. Um, I think there are people who have decided to to have the say, like the rubber stamp of what they feel should be done. Even like we talk about opposition, that opposition is not so much strong, especially and the and regarding on how people nowadays do not respect the rule of law, whereby they just decide to do things the way they want, or the way to tackle issues without following the law. So that's why like we are seeing majority of it in the public participation. And if you look at very keen on how some of these public participation are done, some of them are being done for formality, just to make sure that public participation was done, but not to really achieve the real spirit of public participation. Remember when Rigathi Gachagua was being impeached, and there was something called public participation that was done, and the people had to, you know, that public participation for Rigathi Gachagua was not the real one. It was like a mock public participation, and which sometimes do happen majority of the times. And when you look at another public participation, is usually that you just go for formalities, but the decision has already been made. So they don't meet those criterias. And even Miguda will tell you, we call it the law black book. How does it explain about the public participation? And how will you know that this is a reflection of the people? So that is something that is happening. But now when I come to the topic of today, especially we are looking at President William Ruto, and we are also focusing on 2027 Makobura. What I would tell you that President William Ruto is having a walkover, especially in this election. I'm not his supporter, or I'm not one of uh, or somebody who wants to promote his ideology, because like here we don't promote. As somebody who is the journalism, you don't have to promote, you can know it inwardly who you're going to support. But from where I'm looking at things, I'm seeing a position that is very weak, Mr. Miguda, and this one gives President William Ruto a really walkover. And I was listening to one of the podcasts, and somebody also gave this analogy. Hey, I can see now there's a competition. Makobura has decided even to come with the gogos. We call it gogos, summer gogos. The one for Jaramogi. Jaramogi had one like that, you know.
You know, I don't know. Today is coincidence. Makobura. You know, even me, I have mine here. I'll put it. I have a Google here.
Yeah.
The similar ones. I don't know which. Okay. We can
Yeah.
proceed, Bro Benson.
Okay, thank you so much. I can see you are descendants of Jaramogi anyway. So, so this is what I would say. I was just listening to one of the podcasts today, and somebody was saying that okay, one of the things that is going to make Ruto to win with a landslide is because of voter apathy. And how is this voter apathy going to reach people? That there is no motivational towards the voting. Like people have reached a point whereby liwe liwalo, sisi tupige kura tusipopiga itakuwa hivyo. And he was giving this in reference especially to areas that were strongly dominated by ODM. Some people will say that, okay, you know, like Baba is not there and he used to motivate people. So by having this weak opposition, especially, is very good for Mr. Ruto because it's going to sweep. And let's come again to the United Opposition. United's opposition, they are weak indeed. I'm talking about even Maraga today. I saw he had a presser with the Green Movement Party today. You know, and they're not hitting the point. They're not driving the masses, because it's all about how can you drive the masses. You thought Mr. Ruto is really campaigning, and is not launching projects. Mr. Ruto is campaigning, and he has hit the ground with the nyota that he's doing. Everywhere he goes with these young people, talking to the young people and capturing the Gen Z and giving them this small money. That's how campaign is done. But we are not seeing a stronger opposition to come and counter, or to have our alternative. I listened to DCP especially today talking about even zoning. You know, there are areas that they feel it's a issue of zoning are coming in, but now there is no clear strategy on how they can consolidate their their followers. So I think President William Ruto will have it easy. And then again, come to ODM, which is also the center of discussion for quite some time now. Like the way they are divided. You know, yesterday I listened to Ruth Odinga, and there are some kind of points that I pick, and it tells me that he talked about there's some money that are being given out. I don't know, Miguda, when you did you hear about that? And Kevin Makobura, he talked about the people that are surrounding Oburu, you know, including the leadership. You know, they're not talking. So, with all this is happening in the political landscape, the opposition not being strong, everything that is happening in the ODM. So I think that one is a plus for Mr. Ruto, and is that smiling to victory. That is what I think.
Okay, thank you so much. I can see Good Day is saying, was Ruto and Mudavadi told by the court that it's illegal to merge UDA and ANC? Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
And the court even clarified that whatever properties were taken by UDA from ANC should be returned, and that the way that amalgamation was done was not legal and did not follow the laws of the Republic of Kenya. Yeah, maybe allow me to give Miguda to give his view on that before we get to the next topic, and then you'll also give your take on the same.
Okay.
The issue of the UDA NC merger.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. First, from the court, we have been the determination has been made that it was unconstitutional to actually continue to merge UDA and the ANC, whereby ANC was rendered useless and no longer in operational as political party. But remember, ANC participated in the previous election, and ANC were having some elected leaders into the county assembly, maybe in parliament one, and ANC is part of the coalition for the Kenya Kwanza. So there is a structure on how you can actually decide to get out of the coalition, then later decide to abandon your party, or you go to the ORPP to actually remove the party, but you don't merge, then you assume that there is no process, there is no law in your mind that UD and ANC are actually right now, they have been joined together, they're working together, so there is no ANC in your own imagination. But there were no proper, because even by the time the ANC was being formed, actually, there was a process which was followed.
Mhm.
Through the ORPP, then you register political party, registration, the color, or how you are going to blend your political party. But you
Yeah.
cannot just today wake up and say, okay, we are together ODM and UDA in our mind. Then we render all our elective position to UDA. No, it is not that properly. So I think the court pronounced, sorry, the court pronounced itself very well to the current ongoing issues,
Mm.
because we are a country of the rule of law. Sometimes our leaders or ourselves, we tend to believe that things can be done outside the context of the law. When we
Yes.
call ourselves a constitutional democracy, it
Mm.
means that it is proper for us to operate within the context of the law, because it is very much effective, and that's why we are sovereign, and that's why we promulgate our constitution 10 that Kenya is a sovereign state. And even if you look at the supremacy of the constitution, it's
Mm.
very clear that the supreme law of the land, the constitution,
Mhm.
and it is not subject to any judicial process or any legality. It is legal because it is the supreme court of it's the supreme law of the law, supreme law of the land. At the same time, you understand that that's how it should be, because if you continue doing things in kangaroo way, it means that even our governance, the way we are going to carry out the issue of the bid making process, we assume one stage, then we want to state that we have a law. We assume public participation, then we want to say that now we have a law. That's why the court is very useful. Right now, the court is the watchdog, and actually, the court is doing much better than parliament, because parliament tend to be sleeping. So whenever the bill passes before, even after the presidential assent, there's always a watchdog, which is the court. So in terms of doctrine of separation of powers, checks and balances, the court has been useful. The court has done exemplary good work. The court is currently the only hope for the Kenyan people, not parliament, not executive.
All right. But to me, without quoting the Constitution, because I'm not a student of the law, but like there's some things that make sense, or it makes sense to even to a normal reading. Example of the situation. Look at what happened when the parties merged. In the event that the parties usually merges, what usually happens? Both the two parties will have to lose their identity, and when they lose their identity, so which means they have to come up with a new party. But that one did not happen, especially with UDA. When the Amani Congress merged with UDA, or they came together to form one political party, you saw that it's only Amani Congress that was so much lost. Everything in the UDA remained intact, you know you know and I don't know how even Mudavadi himself was thinking, you know And I think what usually happens, especially when it comes to all this that we are seeing, we have to go back and revisit our political parties. And when we are revisiting our political parties or looking at our political parties, we have to look at the independency and the democracy of those political parties. Because what usually happens in our country, all these political parties, when you look at them, the owners of these political parties have reached a point whereby they decide on what to do. They are not being governed by the law. That they wake up one day and say, "This is what we are doing. This is what we are doing, and that is what has to be done." Like, for example, when it comes to the merger that we are talking about, and the court that has ruled that the process was not lawful, how did even Mudavadi uh, did he consult the people of ANC, even the elected leaders in that political party? Did he consult? And what were the resolutions? Were they shared with the public? Because remember, this is political parties are public property because they get some money from exchequer, and that is your tax that you pay. But did it even come to the public and let the public vote on it, or the public make public participation and say that, okay, we are merging, or our party is coming, we are terminating our party, and what are the reasons for terminating the party? But they said they merged, and if they merged, why was it that the Amani Congress is the only party that remained inactive or kind of like disappear from active politics, yet the UDA still is very strong, you know? So, and that one brings us to what Orengo was saying, the idea of killing off political parties. Then you ask yourself, then what was the main reason for us to have the political parties, multi-partyism, whereby you have like multi-political parties, whereby people can air their grievances, people can air their views. So when it comes to the law, especially following the rule of law, we are not doing good, especially as leaders in our country, Kenya. There are those that we feel this is the law. There are those, if it doesn't favor us, then we will question. But if it favors us, then there's no need. So that is what I think. Yeah. So and Kenyans got are doing good. You know, Makobura, are you still there?
Okay, so thank you so much, Brother Benson, and maybe something else that you can give your views on. We saw the court also nullifying quite a lot. There is this office of advisors, the 21 advisors that were given a chance by the president, including David Ndii, um, Macau Mutua, Professor, amongst others, Jao, a list of 21. And apparently, we're being told that they were being paid an amount similar to that which is paid to the cabinet secretaries. And from the information we are getting, if suppose the president heeds to that directive by the court, then there's a possibility that Kenya will be saving 500 million every month. That's a lot of money, one which can do a lot in matters of taking Kenya to Singapore. As Joseph Kariuki is saying in the comment section, what are your views, Miguda? Do you think the president and this government will heed or will respect this particular decision by the courts? Miguda will give us your take, and then Benson will pick up.
Okay, Makobura, thank you. First, you have also stated the issue of court dealing with the issue of 2021 advisors. Let me tell you one thing. We are very clear as a nation. The constitution is very clear. If we can only follow the constitution to the letter, we do not have a problem. But from my understanding, these leaders, not that they are ignorant about the law or the advisors do not understand the law. Actually, they know what the law states and they know what actually should be done. But they are now contravening the law. They are doing contrary to suit their own interest. So provided it fits my own interest, I don't follow the law. The law is only applicable to me when it's not fitting my interest. But whenever it fits my interest, that is not the law. Because if you talk about the issue of the reason why I'm very glad by our court is because the courts are very clear. The courts are only using Article 3, the supremacy of the Constitution. That's the only tool they are using to kill out all those nonsense in court. Because whenever we have a constitution, and this one is very much important, our constitution, this envisages of Bill of Rights and fundamental freedoms. In the Bill of Rights, there are some provisions, there are some rights, there are some freedoms, like the right to life. That is an inherent right for all of us. We have a right to life. And even if in our constitution, there is still recognition of alternative justice system, alternative dispute resolution system, whereby the customs laws can be applicable in the country. We have the African customary law, which we are practicing in our country. And if you go back to the African customs, there are some consequences which were actually leading to death, whereby some punishment could lead to the death of a victim. Some people used to be killed, some people used to be buried alive, but the constitution is very clear that we can apply our customs provided it doesn't contravene the Bill of Rights and Article 3. So it's provided you are applying the law, but it does not affect the Bill of Rights and fundamental freedoms and Article 3, you are at liberty to do so. But here's a situation whereby there are some laws which are being brought to Parliament, and they want them to be applicable to the Kenyan citizens, but they are contravening the Bill of Rights and fundamental freedoms. At the same time, these laws, they are contravening Article 3, which states very clearly, I think paragraph 4 or 5, that any law, including customary law, even international law, that is inconsistent with our constitution is inconsistent to the extent of inconsistency. So there is no international law or customary law or any statute that is going to contravene our constitution, then you end up dealing with it that you want to assume. So the court is the only solution to this Kenyan problem. Without the court, we are done. These issues of 21 advisors is very clear. It is not in the constitution. The constitution is very clear that the principal assistant of the president is the deputy president, and the president shall execute a cabinet composition of members of the cabinet, including the Attorney General, AG. So with all the cabinets and AG with different departments, including the principal assistant, the deputy president, you still need 21 advisors for what? So I think it's very clear that let us follow the constitution. Even the people who surround Mr. President who are misleading him know very well that maybe they have decided to do so, but we have to understand that even if we are doing our politics, but remember, we are a constitutional democracy whereby our reference is constitution.
All right, all right. Okay. Makobura,
Yes.
because Miguda has really explained it in terms of looking at the constitution and the law, which is okay. But to me, I want to take political angle. You know, when you look at all these 21 advisors that is being or is in question, you have to look at what point or when were they appointed? One, most of them, especially like ODM think tank, including the son of Oburu Odinga, these were they were appointed after the Gen Z protest. And if you remember very keenly, especially when we were talking about this, I said that President William Ruto was building a political secretariat within the State House, especially from the ODM, because like majority of those who are appointed to be advisors of President William Ruto, they're not going to advise President William Ruto on what to do or things to do with the government, especially the ones from ODM. Those who are going to be as the secretariat, those who are going to monitor on how they can implement the strategy for President William Ruto for 2027, because look at it. Makao Mutua is not only Makao Mutua. Majority of them, including Adam Solo, was also there. But if you look at them, yeah, good number of them are from the ODM side, or they were very, very, very close think tank of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. Now, come to the rule of law, and we've said, and we will say again, that sometimes our leaders do not want to follow the due process or to be good respecters or to be very loyal to the law. If they feel that it's not favoring them at any point in time, especially politically speaking, what President William Ruto was doing by that was, first of all, was to get it was buying the love, especially, or buying the loyalty from those who are very close to Raila Amolo Odinga. And there was no any other way that he could do it by not appointing the people who are very loyal to Raila Amolo Odinga. There was an article that Makao Mutua wrote about President William Ruto on how he promised himself he cannot work with President William Ruto. Yeah, yeah. What was Oburu-san not one of the very special advisors to? Yes, and those were not professional advisors. There was a political appointment, to buy that loyalty, especially for those who are from the Baba side, to see how ODM has been given the good junk of we are in government. In other words, what sum it up, tuko kwa serikali, na kama tuko kwa serikali, so unaona ODM ndio wa advisor wa president, so which means we are implementing the manifesto of ODM. But that one is just a political tool, other would say, but a political tool. So you ignore the rule of law, but fulfill the political part of it. So that is what I think.
Okay, thank you, Benson, for giving us a take. Maybe we welcome msimamo. Unaweza ona msimamo, unaweza tupea maoni yako.
Gumza sasa, sijui kwamba labda kichwa ni gani, lakini kabla ya awali ya yote nimsalimie kwanza ndugu yangu hapo, pokea zangu, hosti pokea zangu, mwenye ameenda Benson na pokea zangu, lakini pia ule upande wa pili, ule upande wa ndugu yangu hapa, mwanafunzi wangu wa Kiswahili Gudia, alafu na kuna Chamo Hussein pia wapokea za kwangu. Lakini labda mnieleze haswa kiini ni kipi haswa, angalau nipate kuanzia hapo, kwa sababu nimeingia kuchelewa na already nilikuwa mko katika mazungumzo. Labda topic ya leo ni gani? Maskini kazungumza yangu na si yale ambayo tumeweza kuyapangia. Kwa leo kwako kaka, asante.
Okay, thank you, Msimamo, for your opinion. We were just having a discussion about the weak opposition and what they've been able to do since ODM joined the government. There's a narrative that the opposition side cannot really convince the people of Kenya. They are not serious, let me put it that way, and that they cannot convince the people of Kenya to sort or to support them in acquiring, the positions that they are looking for. And part of the examples we've given is that the bills, there are quite a number of bills which have been passed by the government side, we've not seen the opposition resisting. Look at the days when Raila was the opposition leader. We would see them resisting to an extent that majority of them would, would leave the parliament and cause a lot of disturbance. Currently, we are not seeing that. We're also seeing when you come to the the oversight has become weaker. We are seeing fewer serious accountability challenges. We are seeing members of the cabinet doing what is not lawful, some of them, and no one is criticizing them. So the question we were asking over here is, what are the advantages that Ruto is fighting in this? Is he having a strong opposition?
Asante kwa swali hilo, lakini jibu mnalo na jibu ni jepesi kwenye hili swali, jepesi sana. Ikiwafika sasa hivi ndio tunaona kwamba kuna utepetevu upande wa United Opposition, kwamba kuna nguvu finyu kuweza kukabiliana haswa na serikali. Lakini chanzo ni nini? Chanzo ni nini? Chanzo ni ukuhuba wa ODM na UDA na Kenya Kwanza. Hapo ndo kwanza ndo tulelemaza kabisa juhudi nzima za United Opposition ama za opposition, za upande wa opposition, kwa sababu lengo la opposition kama mnavyolizungumza kwamba lazima wakabiliane na yale ambayo yanakinzana na yanafanyika yasiyokuwa sawa haswa katika hili taifa, wao wa kwanza kuweza kupaza sauti zao juu. Lakini sasa chanzo ni nini? Chanzo ni ukuhuba wa baina wa mfumo wa broad based government, ingawaje uliletwa kwamba ulikuwa unapoza jaziba, lakini ulikuwa unaua mazima ile sauti, kwa sababu ilikuwa timu hii nzima haswa ambayo ina involve ODM na parti zingine baada haswa ya uchaguzi wa 2022. So wa kwanza kuweza kulimeza hii ni ODM itself, na hili limedhihirika kwa sababu wengi wao hawakuwa wanazungumza haya ambayo tunashuhudia sasa hivi wakati wa uhai wa mzee Raila Odinga. Kwa hivyo na maana alivyoondoka sasa hivi ndio tunaona rangi halisi za wale ambao walikuwa ndani ya serikali, roho ndani ya serikali, lakini mwili uko kwa opposition. Kwa hiyo walao wameanza juhudi za kwanza ni ODM before tuanze kuangalia hizi hawa wengine, kwa sababu mpaka sasa hivi ninavyozungumza still bado ndani ya broad based government kuna minority leaders, kuna wale viongozi ambao wanasema wao wako bado hasa bungeni wanasimama upande wa opposition. Tunao wale viongozi wa kwa Senate, tunao viongozi kwa bunge la kitaifa. So kwa ishara hii tukitafuta kiini haswa lazima tuzungumze pale panapouma. ODM ndio ya kwanza kufufia juhudi nzima za opposition. Na mwisho haswa nikimalizia hivi, hakuja kuwa na upungufu zaidi haswa ule ambao mnaofikiria kwamba labda hakutaweza kuamka. Maana kama ni masuala haya ya kupitishwa miswada yalipitishwa hata enzi za mzee. Chimbuko la hawa vijana kuja juu na mzee kuweza kuzima juhudi zao ni kwa sababu ya finance bill ambao waliweza kushindwa kuitetea wao pamoja na Raila wakati wa uhai wake na ODM itself ikiwa kwa Azimio. So they failed miserably. So tuzungumze vitu ambavyo vitakuwa vinatija. Chanzo ni nini? Chanzo cha kwanza ni ODM kuweza kutokana kwa wenzao na kujiunga huku, kisingizio wanapunguza jaziba ile ambayo imezuka taifa lisisabaratike. Lakini sasa hivi je, kuna lipi lenye tija? ODM iko mara mbili, kuna wale wako kwa broad based government na kuna wale ambao sasa hivi sauti zao zimeweza kuzimwa mazima, hawajulikani wako waliko sasa. So for real to me naweza nikasema kwamba bado mapema. Haya ya kuzungumziwa kwamba mawaziri kuweza kufanya kampeni yasitushangaze, kwa sababu already kama yalikuwepo na opposition ilikuwa na nguvu wakati huo, ni kwa sababu ODM imejitenga. Sasa hivi opposition, United Opposition haina nguvu, basi hatungeshuhudia ofisi ya Musalia Mudavadi ya kila anakula mshahara wa Wakenya kwa ofisi ambayo haipo kikatiba. Hili limefanyika, lilikuwepo tangia mzee yupo. bora hajazungumziwa. Kwa sometimes tuwe wa kweli kwamba chimbuko na mgawanyiko, suluhu ya hizi shida zote ni kwa sababu ya hawa ambao walikuwa huku kwa opposition kujiunga tena kwa serikali. Nitaachia hapo, labda kuwe kuna swali. Asante.
Okay, thank you so much. Msimamo na vile vile bado narudi tu kwako. Maoni yako ni yepi? We saw the 21 advisors of the president. The court gave its pronouncement that it is illegal and that it is not constitutional and that particular department should be disbanded and everybody should go back to their homes. That is the pronouncement of the court. What is your view? The likes of Professor Makau, the likes of Ndi, the likes of Jaoko Buru, amongst others, ni kama sasa kazi yao imeisha kulingana na maoni ya koti. Do you think the president will aid
Kaka, sija kupata vizuri, unakatika katika, japo ni swali zuri hilo, lakini kuna baadhi ya sehemu zinakatika katika. Kindly, hebu kama unaweza jongea kidogo nikupate kwa uzuri, ili kusudi nijenge hoja vizuri. Nalipata swa kinusunusu.
Asante sana. Miguda, kindly confirm if I'm audible before I get. Am I audible? Okay. So msimamo nauliza hivi, kuna wale advisors ambao walikuwa appointed na president, the 21 of them, akiwemo Professor Makau Mutua, David Ndi, Jaoko Oburu, amongst others. Koti inasema, the court is saying that particular department does not exist and it is not legal and that it should be disbanded and possibly they should all go back to their homes. In simple terms, what are your views? Do you think the government would heed to that?
Yeah, asante kwa hilo swali zuri, nimelipata sasa hivi. Kwanza, kama wako hapo kinyume na kikatiba, ni kuvunjaji wa katiba, wanafaa kufuata sheria na katiba ya nchi. Lakini vile vile pia tunashuhudia kwamba tuna kiongozi pale juu ambaye ndio nembo ya taifa, ambaye anaipa mgongo katiba. So kwa kujaribu kuzungumza haya mambo koti kama wanaamanisha si siasa, kwa sababu tunashuhudia kwamba katika taifa letu kikwazo kikubwa ni kwamba kila kitu kinaingizwa siasa. Unaweza ona ile limefanyika, kumbe ni siasa ndani. Lakini kama linafanyika in good faith, kwamba mahakama imeamua hivyo kwa sababu ni si katiba na si sheria haswa katika hayo majukumu ambao wanafanya, basi mimi naweza ngalivulia njuga nikasema ni credit kwetu, kwa sababu kidogo itakuwa mahakama imesimama na Wakenya. Kwa sababu kile tunakishuhudia sasa hivi katika taifa letu ni kwamba katiba inapewa mgongo kwa mambo ambayo yanatija zaidi kwa mwananchi, mambo ambayo yanafanyika, nyadhifa zinapeanwa kiurafiki. Tuliona wakati ule wa PSS mpaka ikazuka zaidi haswa, na mwisho wa siku likazimwa. So huku kukaa kwamba katiba haifuatwi kikamilifu, pia nalo ni neno. Tunahitaji viongozi ambao sasa hivi, ili tuepukane na hili, watakufanya kwamba katiba ifuatwe kikamilifu. Hapo ndo hapo maoni yangu, kama mimi naweza nikarai kama Wakenya na ndugu zangu hapa, tuangalie viongozi ambao wanatija, ambao wataweza kusimamia haswa masuala mazima, kwamba sheria itakuwa sasa ina mkava yoyote yule, haijalishi hadhi, kazi, cheo, rangi wala dini. Lakini vile vile katiba ifuatwe kikamilifu kwa manufaa yetu sasa hivi, lakini kwa manufaa zaidi ya vizazi vinavyokuja. Kwa hiyo kama mahakama wameruli hivi, mimi naunga mkono, ili mradi tu isiwe tu kesho na kesho kutwa tutapata kwamba ile jambo limefanyika kwa sababu ya kisiasa. Maana huo ndio ugonjwa ambao tuko nao katika taifa letu, kwamba kila kitu kumekuwa kimeingizwa siasa ndani, si dini na mambo mengi tu ambayo yameweza kuingizwa siasa ndani. Hayo ndio maoni yangu, kaka yangu host, kwamba naunga mkono haswa kama hizi nyadhifa ziliteuliwa kinyume na katiba hazimo, basi pia zifuatwane mpaka na kina Mudavadi tuone wako nyumbani, kwa sababu wanakula pesa za Mkenya kinyume na katiba yetu ya nchi. Asante.
Asante sana ndugu yetu Msimamo. Kabla uende, basi bado nina swali kwako, na swali langu vilevile bado inaelekezwa huko kwa upande wa koti, ambapo tuliona ya kwamba koti ilisema ya kwamba muungano wa UDA na ile ya ANC, the agreement they had was not constitutional, and the court again has pronounced itself saying that any asset and the unity that was there between the ANC and the UDA is illegal, and that zile vifaa na kila kitu ambacho watu wa UDA walichukua ya ANC warudishiwe. What is your view on the same again?
Jamani, huo ni mkojo, lakini mavi yako nyuma. Unajua unaotangulia ni mkojo, alafu kinyesi baadaye. So kama kodi imeamua hili, nalipongeza pia kwa mara nyingine. Wacha ya Ngoso yapewe Ngoso, ya Kaisari yapewe Kaisari. Lakini je, ni funzo gani kwa hawa wakubwa wa ODM wanaojichanganya tena hapo? Maana siku zote mwenzako akinyolewa chako tia maji. Kama NC ndio hivi, koti imeamua hivi, huku huba wa broad based government upo kisheria, kikatiba. Na je, huku huba wa ODM sasa hivi kwamba sisi tuliachwa hapa kwa broad based government ni kisheria? Na kama NC ilifanywa hivi, je, ODM nayo imejipangaje? Maana ni ODM ndio inajikurubisha hapo, lazima ni nyumba ya mtu itakuwa na sauti, ama ni sifa ambao wanaweka pale kwamba ni chama pendwa, ni chama ambacho kimeanzia River Limpopo mpaka siyo River Nile. Tutabaki na hizo hisia ama tutakwenda kwa reality? Kwa hiyo mimi naweza nikapongeza tena kwa mara ya pili kwa hili, maana ni fundisho haswa kwa hawa wakuhuba ambao wamejichanganya tena. Yale ya ANC ndio haya ambayo tunashuhudia kwa ODM. Kwa hivyo wajipange hapo, na pia koti wangelizungumzia hili. Asante.
Okay, asante sana Msimamo, na hivyo basi tutakuwa tumekaribia kutamatisha, and I don't know if Miguda is still here. Okay, thank you so much Miguda as well for finding time to join again, and we've been having a discussion here on what
Kaka kidogo hapa naona na kuna comment hapa, nijaribu kuielewa vizuri hapa. Inasema hivi, the agreement was between Raila and Ruto, not the people, but Raila has gone, so it seems kama hiyo agreement ilikuwa ya Raila na Ruto. Sasa Raila ameenda, sasa hiyo agreement nani sasa ambayo ina nguvu? Imeisha. Hawa wengine wanaenda wapi? So wakienda hawa wanaenda, kaka yangu, kabla nitimuliwe hapa, niwakaribishe tena kwa PLP tuweze kukijenga pamoja chama ambacho kitaheshimu sheria na katiba na kufunga mianya ya hawa mafisadi na wenye kugrab land na everything. Tuhakikishe taifa tunalegesha katika mstatili wa kuweza kutii katiba ya nchi na sheria. Asante.
haya vilevile kuna tena, there's quite a lot of comments over here. Mnaweza peana maoni kabla tutamatishe. There's a comment from Paulo here saying that the UDA-ANC merger scandal is just a secret card introduced by state to tame ODM during negotiation. Okay, you will give your take on that. And Shaima here is saying the agreement was between Raila and Ruto, not people. Okay. There's also a comment here from Paolo saying that advisory team should go home. SRC was not consulted about their salaries, so we don't understand who pays them. Thank you so much. I'll give you a chance to give your views, me good. Shema here is saying that On 23rd demos, Makau Mutua exposed Raila getting direction of police from State House. It's when I started doubting the cow man. Okay, thank you. And quite a lot. Maybe you can go through them. Komingi hapa. Migude, you can give us your view on the comments and possibly your final remark.
Just want to go through the comments, the one I've had. Actually, it's true. The SRC were not notified, and even in terms of payment, we don't know how their remuneration are being accounted. Actually, who pays them? Those are significant questions that are needed to be raised in the court of law. Same time, what Shaima Hussein is saying, actually, Makau Mutua missed. You know, Raila was on a war. He was fighting, doing demos. And of course, he was receiving intel from the State House. That was part of the strategy so that you can know which route to take because his life was at risk at that time. Then his aide by that time, Makau Mutua, exposed to the world because we were able to get the radio calls from State House, the police, so Raila could use tactics. Those are the things that people actually critique Mutua. Even the likes of Saitaba Olekanchori say that that's why Raila's been losing. So there have been many issues, even what our good friend Goodyear is stating on the comment section here. Junet and Wanga blinded the late Honorable Raila Odinga with their hidden interest. This is true. There's a good number of them. Junet, Wanga, Makau Mutua, so many. The list is endless. So that is very much correct. It actually manifesting right now in his absence. That is normal. We are able to know actually the people who were not the reasons why Raila used not to be elected or used not to be declared by IBC because of the inner circle. The inner circle was rotten. Makubura, I would like to appreciate Msimamo for coming to the show, and also I'm glad the way is selling the policies of PLP. Msimamo, good job. Be there. In the future we might have a coalition with you people. So when we meet one day, you allow us to see the party leader. So we shikilia tu hapo, pia si tumeshika huku. Umuhimu ni ya kwamba tuhakikisha kwamba tumekomboa Kenya, na wakati ukombozi utafika, nyinyi kama watu wa PLP tungependa mkue moja ya wale ambao watakomboa nchi. Sasa hiyo ni kazi nzuri unafanya, kwa sababu kazi yako nikikusikiza kwa makini, unazungumzia mambo za sheria, mambo za Kenya moja, mambo za kuhakikisha kwamba tumebadilisha Kenya haswa kisheria. Hapo nakubaliana na wewe, niko na wewe, lakini tutakutana huko mbele. Makobura, asante sana kwa kutuhost katika kipindi hiki, na vile vile rafiki yangu Gudia, rafiki yangu Shaima, rafiki yangu Paul Kisianga, asanteni sana kwa kuja katika kipindi hiki na kupeana maoni zenu katika comment section. Sisi tunasema tu tunashukuru sana, tunasema ni asante, na vile vile kwa mapenzi ya Mungu naona kama watu wasikuwe na wasiwasi sana. Hii Kenya itabadilika tu. Kuna tu kuna mambo inachemka, na ipo siku, hiyo siku ikifika, sisi sote tutasherekea na sisi sote tutatabasamu kama Wakenya, and when that time comes I think definitely we are going to, because we have a good country, we have what it takes, tuko na nia, tuko na uwezo, tuko na akili. Ni tu viongozi ndio wanatusumbua, au viongozi tukishawatoa katika mamlaka, Kenya itakuwa nchi nzuri sana. Makubura, asante sana. kwako pia na kwa Benson. Kwa mapenzi ya Mungu tutakutana kesho hapa. Asanteni sana, tukutane kesho.
Okay, thank you so much, my good, for your time as well. We really appreciate. And now allow me to give Msimamo a chance to also give us his final remarks as he give his views on the comment section. Msimamo.
Asante sana ndugu yangu Miguda, asante sana ndugu yangu hapo Mark, na wale wengine ambao wako upande wa section kule comment section. Kwanza nimependezwa sana na kauli na mazungumzo ya ndugu yangu hapa Miguda ya ukomavu. Unajua, tusijipate pale kwa kukanganyana kwamba labda ushabiki unatuchukua zaidi, but hata kama tutakuwa tuko katika vyama tofauti, lakini lengo letu liwe moja, kwa sababu mwisho wa siku huu mzigo unatulemea sisi kama wananchi. Wao wakila na kusaza, sisi tumeachiwa ushabiki. That's why naungana na kaka yangu hapa na nitaendeleza hili, lakini vile vile pia nimkaribishe kwa moyo mkunjufu, haswa ili tukiendeleza hili tuliendeleze katika hali ambayo itakuwa ni usawa, kwa sababu kile ambacho tunakikosa hapa sasa hivi ni kwamba ni tunaregeshwa pale tulipokuwa kwa mtukufu, order from above, na ni vitu ambavyo vili dominate for almost miaka 24, tukawa tunashindwa tutavianzia wapi kuweza kuvipunguzia makali yake. Na katika hiyo vurugu mechi ambayo inasemekana leader wangu aliweza kuchangia ushindi huo wa 2027, lakini mwisho wa siku ndio katika huo uzao wa haya matunda ambayo tunafaidi sasa hivi ya katiba mpya, katiba ambayo sasa hivi inapewa mgongo. So to me naweza nikasema hivi kwa kwanza kwamba nafasi tunayo haswa kama Wakenya, na tujaribu kujumuika kwa pamoja, tuache masuala na ukabila. Tuangalie kwa sera, kwa sababu taifa letu linatuhitaji sote na hatuna mahali kwingine. So tujaribu kutathmini hawa viongozi wanakuja kwetu na gea hizi zote, lakini wamesimama wapi mwisho wa siku? Je, wamesimama na sisi, ama wanatutumia tu kama ukuta, ama wanatutumia tu kama kanga wenye chongo, tunafukulia wenye macho? Kama wananchi lazima tuwe katika hiyo hali na tuwe alert this time around, kwa sababu mageuzi ya kweli ni tuyaendee kama wananchi kwa kuweza kusimama na viongozi ambao watakuwa na tija. Haijalishi kwamba katoka wapi, lakini based na track record zao tutaweza kusimama na kuweza kuchambua magugu na mbegu. Lakini vile vile ni washukuru wale ambao wako upande wa comment section, wakiongozwa na ndugu yangu hapa James Kona na Paul, unaona, na wale wote ambao wanaania swafi, kwa sababu hatungekuwa hapa kama taifa letu, hatungekuwa tunazungumzia haya kama taifa letu lingesimama katika hali ya sawa. Tungekuwa tunaangalia ni jambo gani jipya limeletwa na serikali ambalo linamfaidi mwananchi, lipi ambalo haswa linatulenga. Tungekuwa tunazungumzia taifa ambalo tunakisha kwamba linatunda rasilimali badala ya kunyonya nchi, linampunguzia mzigo haswa mwananchi, haswa katika masuala mazima na elimu na afya. Tunaona kwamba haswa mwananchi amewezeshwa. Wale ambao hawajapata kisomo kisawasawa, lakini wako na talenta zao zimekuwa ndio ajira kwao. So tunahitaji taifa ambalo hakika litakuwa na umoja na tija. Lakini tutalipataje hili? Lazima tusimame kidedea kuweza kuchambua magugu na mbegu. Ukuhuba wa wanasiasa haumaanishi ndio suluhu ya tatizo yetu. Ukuhuba wa wanasiasa ni kwa ajili ya wao wenyewe binafsi. Ubabe huu tunauona wa kuonyeshana vifua ni kwa ajili yao, nani bingwa nani si bingwa. Lakini mwisho wa siku tukumbuke kwamba wapiganapo fahali wawili nyasi huumia, na nyasi si wengine ni sisi wananchi. Kwa hivyo akili zetu tuzizenduke haswa pale wawili watatu naokaa nao karibu, wale wawili watatu naokuwa nao karibu nao, jaribu kupeana hii civic education. It's through civic education itatusaidia, kwa sababu maamuzi yanafanywa kule juu, mwananchi hapewi nafasi, hauhusishwi kikamilifu na hawa viongozi. zaidi ya kutimka chama hiki kuingia chama kile, zaidi ya kutengeneza muungano hii kuingia hapa. Yote haya ni kwa ajili ya wao na kutufumba macho sisi haswa kama wananchi. Kwa tuzinduke na tutengeze sehemu yetu, na wao nao watengeze sehemu yao, na tukutane mwambani haswa siku ikifika. Asante.
Okay, thank you so much. Allow me to take this opportunity to appreciate each and everyone, Simamo, Miguda, and Benson, for finding time to join us this evening. We really appreciate. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate so much those who joined us at the comment section, of course, led by Goodia, Paul, Shaima. I saw Joseph Kariuki. I saw, there's a name here, so it's a little bit difficult. Yeah. So everyone who joined us, I want to take this opportunity to really appreciate. Thank you so much for always supporting us and for always joining us. Allow me to appreciate Brenda Obedi, Mike Onyango, Michael Ted, Evans Otieno, amongst others. We really appreciate. Thank you so much for finding time to join us. And I just want to remind you that this is Brother Benson Media. Over here, we do say that your opinion counts. If you're watching for the first time, kindly like and subscribe, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us. Sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. Thank you so much, good friends, and we hope to meet you or to see you again. Asante sana Msimamo. Asante sana Miguda. Asante sana Brother Benson. Thank you so much. Our guest for finding time to join us. Not forgetting everyone in the comment section. Thank you so much. We appreciate as well. Uh, uh, okay. Goodia is saying you two looked okay. Thank you so much, Goodia. We appreciate.
Sigudia hapa angalau ungeniruhusu nisome hii yake kwa sababu inanigusa kidogo, hata kama ni kwa. Thanks Msimamo for the time, I always appreciate. Aguna Msimamo, I'll join in conditions. Why are you joining in condition? And I hold you to account. If it goes up peer, it goes peer shaped. I don't like crying. Hakuna hapa hakuna kubahatisha upande uliopo, kwa sababu ni chama changa. Viongozi wa hiki chama kesho na kesho kutwa, kama tutakijenga vizuri, kiwe na mashiko, ni sisi ambao tutaweza kukisimamia, kwa sababu ni chama changa haswa. Hakija kuwa na hawa manduli wakomavu haswa, ni sisi tukiende nacho haswa, tuhakikishe kwamba kimekuwa na sauti pale bunge la kaunti, kwa sababu sauti kama pale itakuwa ipo na viongozi wale tumewachagua kwa bunge la kaunti wanazungumzia sauti yetu, ni mabadiliko ya kwanza ambayo tutakuwa kuweza kumeyaleta kwa watu wetu. Lakini vile vile kama tutakuwa na wabunge wa kutosha pale bunge la kaunti, ni mabadiliko tena ya pili, kwamba hawatapitisha miswada kiholela, ndugu yangu Jesse. So ni sisi tukijenge hiki chama kwa moyo mkunjufu, kwa sababu mwisho wa siku viongozi wa kweli itakuwa ni sisi ambao tumeweza kuchangia pakubwa kuweza kwamba kinatambulika haswa, ili huyu kiongozi ambao tunajua kwamba hana jicho la kufumba, hafuswani na masuala na ufisadi, na wala hashawishiki wala hababaishwi haswa na hawa, tutakuwa katika mikono salama, na hatutashuhudia kwamba wabunge wetu wanahama hapa wakijiunga kwa upande mwingine kwa manufaa yao. Asante.
Thank you so much. Msimamo, allow me before you guys leave to welcome Joseph Kariuki. Naona ameingia dakika za lala salama. Naye Joseph pia aingie na tupe maoni yake in general. Joseph, karibu sana. Allow me to also say thank you to Goody ambaye anasema we looked. I don't know how to pronounce that. Lakini pia hapa sisi tunasema ni asante kwa the good comments. Yeah, so Joseph Kariuki, you can come and give us your general take. I know you've been following us. We started seeing your comments kitambo. Sasa unaweza kuja utupe maoni yako tu in general before we call it a day.
Thank you. You can hear me?
Yes, you
So
can.
I did not come to pressure you too much. I am back. I had some engagements, so I'm back. Sorry for I've not been for quite a while, and lakini I'm back, so it's quite good that I'll be back with you guys. And mimi ile kitu kwanza imenifurahisha sana ni mnafaa mwende mkaangalia hiyo wimbo ya barabara za Singapore zinakuliwa na viongozi. It's a very good song. If you listen to what they are talking about in that song, you will realize he's talking about everything that is happening to the country. Sitataka hiyo wimbo kuinini hapa juu ya copyright issues, lakini kama utapata chance unaweza enda kusikiza hiyo wimbo ya wimbo ingine very funny. They are talking about I think that one should be one of the loyalty pledges in in Kenya, because he's talking about so many of the things that are happening. Also in farming, because I've seen we have added even the tariff of water from 50 to 55 shillings, and so many other issues, even about education. He's the singer. I think the artist is the husband of this Kawira Mwangaza. So he has really put on a performance in that song. I wish Marco Bura, you can go and listen ukiwa na msimamo na miguda hapa. You'll enjoy. But I don't have much to say. I'm back, so we are going to be continuing with the conversation. Thank you.
Joseph, did you say you are giving your take ama siku ingine? I didn't get that clearly.
No, I'm okay. I'll be back now full mode. I cannot come and give take after 1 hour and some minutes. I'll reserve my take for tomorrow. But ukitaka kusikia my take, you can listen to that song. I've given you the artist name and the song.
Very well, that is noted. And thank you so much for seeing you, Brother Joseph. It's been a while. We appreciate as a channel for just finding time to always join us. We don't take it for granted. We're very much grateful for your time and, of course, for your wisdom and the many times that you've given us your views. Views, of course, which are educating the people of Kenya in one way or another. Add to that, of course, I extend the same to our good friends, Simamo, Miguda, Benson, and everyone. Not forgetting everyone who has commented, given their views at the comment section. We appreciate so much. Of course, tunashukuru because of you guys at the comment section. You have reminded us of what to speak about. You've reminded us, whenever we see your text, whenever we see your comments, it drives us. It makes us, continue and not to lose hope. We appreciate so much the comment section, and also there's also a silent group who are on the viewing side. They never comment, but they are always there with us. Thank you so much. We appreciate as well for your time, and spending time every day to join us is not an easy thing. On our side, we are grateful. On behalf of the Benson Media, we appreciate so much. So I think we are finished, unless kama kuna yeyote ambaye bado kuna kitu ya kusema kabla nifunge.
Yes, I can tell good ear that the song is Singapore, and then the artist is called the husband of, I think he's called who? I'm forgetting the name, but the husband of Kawira Mwangaza, if you write the husband, you see, and then there is some people who have done some challenges in the song, so it's quite interesting.
So it's okay. I'll also check out for that. I hope there's a translation the same, so that we can also gather and get to hear what exactly is in it. Yeah, so tunatamatisha sasa. Allow me to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us from. We are so much grateful. May God bless you and see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.